Hello everyone, this is Param from Think Higher Education and Migration Consultants. So today in this video, I'm going to give you some easy tips which you can improve your pronunciation as well as fluency. So these are the basic things that will help you in your PTE exam. So let's have a look what is oral fluency. Many people do not know that and they think that oral fluency is basically the speed. It is actually a smooth, consistent, and effortless speech of a native speaker with a natural pace delivery of speech. That means you are not hesitating, you are not starting the sentence with hesitation or repetition, or you are not stucking at some words, you're not using the boggy language such as or any kind of fillers. You should speak with the flow, you should speak with the smooth and consistent, which should not be that much effortless. You should not overstretch the words. Okay, and what is pronunciation? Pronunciation basically means speaking sounds in a way that is easily understandable to the most regular speakers of the language. So we do have national varieties of English pronunciation, with each and having own different accents are considered correct to some degree, which is actually should be understandable. You should not over exaggerate the words. You should not mix your mother tongue into the English language. So the some people over exaggerate. For example, they say wanted. That is not correct. This is not the right way, because English is a soft spoken language which should not emphasize on the last letter. You should softly release the last letter. So instead of saying wanted, you can simply say wanted, with just having a little stress on the der sound at the end. Many of the speakers do not pronounce the letter S at the end, which actually reduce your scores in your speaking exam. So when you are focusing on the fluency, you have to focus on the pronunciation too. These are the two important factors. Content carries almost one-fourth of the proportion, but fluency and pronunciation carries 75% of the proportion in your speaking exam. So if you see this pie chart, you can actually see the weightage of both fluency as well as pronunciation. Now let's move further. How to get the perfect scores in speaking. These are the few things, but these are the very, very important things that I'm telling you today. Many of the students are not familiar about this. They say that we can use a flat tone. That's okay. But for everyone, this strategy is not okay, because using a flat tone can actually not guide the computer. Rather, it feels like a robot sound. We don't have to act as a robot. We are human beings. So that is okay that we can speak with a natural pace. So speech should not have false starts, no repetition, no hesitation. This is the number one criteria for the perfect speaking. The second thing, all vowels and consonants are produced in a manner that is easily produced by a native speaker. So what are these vowels? Can I know those students who are live today? Can I know some vowels, guys? Please write your answers in the comment section. What vowels we use in our English language? Yes? I'm not getting any response. So what vowels we have? How many vowels we have in English language? So there are basically 5 vowels, that is A, E, I, O, U. And what are consonants? The remaining letters in English language. Apart from the vowels, we do have other letters like B, C, D, which are not vowels, they are consonants. So there are 26 alphabets, 5 are vowels, and rest 21 are consonants. But apart from this, that is not the only thing. I will be explaining you each and every important factor in this video today, which is very impressive, very, very important. The third thing is stress. What does that mean? You have to give emphasis on some important words. So what important words we know? When we are reading a read aloud in PT exam, there will be some important words, mainly collocations. What are collocations? Collocations, can you give me an example of a collocation? Collocation is basically the group of words which come together. Okay, any example? Like lump sum, general public, industrial pollution, global warming, the set of words which come together. And what are proper nouns? Proper nouns are basically anything when we are talking about particular name of a person, right? When we are talking about any country name, so we have to emphasize these words, especially the collocations and the proper noun. And the last important thing is using rising intonations when starting a sentence and falling intonations when stopping at a sentence. I'm going to prove these all things today in this video. So let's start with the first thing, how you can achieve your good oral fluency. So fluency doesn't mean that you have to speed up, you have to increase your speed. It has to be in a natural manner. So be relaxed, be confident and comfortable when you start your exam. I know anxiety comes up when you start your exam, so be relaxed, take a deep breath, okay? So avoid taking pauses, repetition, any hesitation or false start can actually reduce your scores. So make sure you be calm and be relaxed, okay? Recognize your rhythm, recognize your speech. Try to make it very smooth and flowing. That's the number one tip. Number two, avoid uttering fillers and non-words. So what are fillers? When we get stuck, when we are speaking something and we get stuck, we are not having the words, we start using fillers. So what fillers people use generally? Like actually, like so. They try to use these words just in order to maintain the flow. But to be honest, these are not at all important. You will lose your points if you constantly say them. Then and that becomes your habit. So avoid doing these. Be conscious in your exam. Do not use this as a repetition or as a habitual speaking. Number three, practice organizing your thoughts. You have to train your mind. You have to train your mind and think very calmly. You should know where to pause. So how you can do this? That's a very simple thing. Yes, it is obvious that you will lose your mind. So you can use your pencil. When you're doing your read alouds in exam, use the marker which is provided in the exam. Okay? Try to hold that in your hand and drag it toward the text. In that way, you will not lose your focus. You will remain calm and you will not speak word to word, rather drag it with your speed. In this way, you will be in touch with the words and you will not stuck at any word. Okay? Now, so far we know what are vowels and consonant. These are the vowels A, E, I, O, U and B, C, D, F. Others are consonants. But does it the only difference? No, actually not. You don't believe that there are 5 vowels, but actually they make 20 sounds. Yes, that's not surprising. They make 20 sounds. So I will tell you the difference in simple way. A vowel is a speech sound made with your mouth fairly open. If you notice, when you speak these words like A, E, I, O, U, your mouth is nearly open. But when you speak the consonants, your mouth is fairly closed. So vowel sounds are literally hard as compared to the consonant sounds. So how consonants are produced? So when we speak these words like p, b, t, you actually release the air when you speak these words. Everybody knows this. Yeah, these are very simple words. But what about the words which actually requires something from the nose? The air comes from your nose. The words like m, n, these words when you speak, the sounds come from the nose. Okay, speaking these words is also very easy. But what about the words like th, thin? It has a theta sound. Th, z, sh. I have seen students often mispronounce the words, with especially they get stuck with s and sh sound. So it's ancient. Okay, it's proficient. We write c, but we pronounce like sh. So that is a different concept. We'll definitely cover those things. But what about the words when we stop? Combining stopping, then squeezing. Narrowing the vocal track when we don't stress too much. So these are few examples of the consonants. So consonants that are like vowels. You don't believe there are 5 vowels, but Y is a consonant. But sometimes it behaves like I. You sound like I. Okay. The words like bottle, middle. In American English, it is often pronounced like the sound. Bottle, water. So Americans often say water, butter. But Britishers, they use butter, bottle. So try not to mix both of the English. Try to use only one English in exam. Okay? Whichever you are good about. It's better to use British, which is more easy to use as compared to American English. The words like giggle, dabble, ribbon, packen, happen. So we say these words, but it has different sounds. Okay, voiced and voiceless consonants. Some consonants are produced using your voice, like b, d, j, m, n, and other words. Okay, whereas some are voiceless, where we do not have to stress too much. Most consonants come in neat voiced, voiceless pairs, like p, b, t, d. Okay, so these are the simple things, guys. You should know the right pronunciation of the words. The sound H is also voiceless, but lost is voice pair, though it's ghost. Ghost means it actually disappear. So in words like daughter, night, thought, GH is written, but it is not pronounced. Can you guys give me any example of any word which is having GH? We write GH, but we do not pronounce GH. Could you please write down the examples in the comment section below? Let me know any word you know you use in your day-to-day life, but you do not, but you write that word, but you do not pronounce GH. So I've given you some examples like thought, night, daughter. Can you give me any other example? Yes, I'm waiting for your comments. Come on. Okay. Okay, that's your homework now. You have to look some words with having GH, but we do not pronounce GH. The words with having nasal sounds like M and N. Okay, these are the words we use nasal sounds like monkey. We stress and we speak through nose. Consonant sounds spelt with vowel words. So the letter ending with E, like solve, house, please, dance, ocean. Now you notice, right? So E is a vowel, but the words where we have used this vowel, like solve, house, please, these are other examples. The letter L represents sometimes Y sound. The words like brilliant, okay, union. So it has a Y sound. The letter U is a common way to spell the consonant sound W, like queen. Now we are not writing W, but when we speak queen, W comes out from your mouth. Penguin. These are very simple things, basic things, but it is going to help you if you know the right pronunciation. Okay. Vowel sounds spelled with consonant letters. So the letter W, letter Y, letter R, letter L, how they are sound like saw. Now it is a W. The letter at the end of the word is a W, which is a consonant. But when we are speaking these words, we are actually pronouncing the vowel sounds. Saw, knew, grew. So what I'm trying to say over here is vowels actually play a vital role. It is the vowel which creates sounds. Okay. So consonants have very little sounds. The words like play, it has a sound, it has a vowel sound of A, valley, boy, buy. Okay. The letter words like R, warm, scarce, her. It has a letter R, but it has a sound of R as a vowel. Next is letter L. The words like calm, walk, yoke. So we don't even pronounce letter L in these words. Can you give me an example of letter L which is written in a word but it is silent? As I've given you three examples. Yes? No idea? Come on, think. Okay, let's have a look on the next word, GH. So GH is actually having different sounds. The words like thought, Hi. If you pronounce hi, we don't even pronounce GH. Thought is not even pronounced GH. Anything like where GH do not appear. We have recently covered some examples. Bought, caught, okay? But the words like cuff, where GH actually sounds like F. So these are the very, very important things. You should know the right pronunciation of the right words. Now coming to the third part, which sound you should stress. You cannot speak any word randomly. You should know the right stress, where we have to stress. I have given some examples over here. So if you see the first word, dog, robot, fantastic. So the words which are marked and highlighted in red color, these are the words where we are actually giving a stress. Helicopter, personality, building, important. So is it important? Is it A, B, or C? Which one is correct? Tell me which one is correct. You can pronounce these words at your end and let me know the right stress where we have to give them. So in the first example, whether it is A correct or B correct. In the second one, in the third one. So in the A, first example, we have stress on the first one. So A option is correct. In the second question, 2B is correct. We have giving stress in the middle part of the sentence. And in the third one, we are giving experimental. So it is third C is correct. So word stress rules, there are some rules that you should know where we have to stress the words. Let's learn them. They are very easy. One word cannot have two stresses. So if the words like dog, it has a one stress. When we have two stresses, you hear actually two words. Secondary stress in some word is there, but remember that stress is only used in long words and is much smaller than the primary stress. We can only stress vowels, not consonants. Okay, I'm going to play an audio so that you can actually listen where we are giving the stress. So we can only stress vowels, not consonants. Okay, so here I'm taking example where I'm giving stress on the first syllable. Okay, so let's listen the audio first.
Present, export, China, table, present, slender, clever, happy.
So you listen the audios how they have emphasized on the first letters of the words. Actually, there are two syllables. What is a syllable? Syllable is a word where we have one vowel, one consonant after the vowel. So pre is a one syllable, okay, and cent is the another syllable. So we are giving stress on the first word, okay. Now, if you see this diagram, what it is actually telling you when you have to use a rising pitch, that means where you have to stress. What kind of words will come in the exam? Production, we are emphasizing on duction. Product, we are emphasizing on pro. Technology, we are actually emphasizing on vowel nology. Technique, we are emphasizing on nick. Politics, again on PO. Politician, the simple funda is you just have to look at the vowel. So we are actually stressing on the vowel. In this example, in the first example of the table, we have stress on the first syllable, okay, not on the consonant. The second example, another rule that you have to learn is these are all nouns and adjective. I've not taken any verb. So whenever you have nouns or adjective, you just have to stress on the first three letters or four letters of the word. This is a clue that you have to learn. The second thing, these are verbs. Now, present, I've taken one word as common. You notice present act as a noun also, it do act as a verb also. So when I'm saying could you please present the task properly? Or could you please do this? So present is acting as a verb here. When I'm talking about as a verb, then I will be stressing on the last syllable, on the last four letters. But when I'm using present as a noun or I'm talking about presentation, okay, then I will be stressing on the first part of the word. Okay. Present is also act as an adjective. He's present, he's absent. Okay, so I've taken this word is in all the three example. If you notice, it act as a noun also, it act as an adjective also, and one present is as a gift. Okay, so It can be used in different ways, but if it is used in as a verb, then we will be only emphasizing on the last four letters. Let's listen the audio first. You will actually able to hear it properly.
present, export, decide, begin,
Right? So I give you another example. Some people say photograph. That is actually wrong pronunciation. It's not photograph, it's photograph or photographer. Okay. So you have to know the right pronunciation. It is going to change your speaking scores. I'm telling you frankly, only increasing the speed is not going to help you. You should know the right pronunciation, because somehow your pronunciation is connected with your content. And why I'm doing this module today, because I know speaking is maybe not the big issue. They might be getting good scores in speaking, but they are getting stuck in reading. Ultimately, they do not know why they are losing scores in reading. That is only because of your read aloud. Guys, I'm telling you frankly, if you are getting 90 in your speaking, that's not a big deal, okay? But are you really getting 90 in your reading? No, you're not getting it, because your pronunciation score is not good. So you have to understand the criteria in the exam. Getting 90 in speaking is much, much easier if you focus on your pronunciation. And it is not one day task. You cannot improve your pronunciation in one day. Okay. So try aiming for 80 in fluency, and also aim for more than 70 in your pronunciation. I'm not telling you to get 90, but try to get more than 70 if you do not want to lose marks in your read alouds. You don't believe that you actually get 30 to 35 marks from your read alouds in your reading section. And that can only happen if you speak these words, these all sentences correctly without even making a single error. Then only you can get your desired score of 30, 35 marks. You will get the full transferable score in your reading section. This is nothing, it's not that much important, but why I'm actually doing this, to help you so that you do not struggle with your read alouds. So as so far you have understood, we have taken one example of present, and that is differently used as a noun, adjective and verb. It has different sounds. So the third part is stress on the penultimate syllable, that is second from the end. It is again very important. What are the words where when we have to stress on the second from the end? Any word which is ending with IC, for example, graphic, geographic, geologic. We are not stressing on the first, neither on the last. We're actually stressing in the middle of the sentence. That means second word from the end. Okay. So the other examples, whenever words ending with SION or TION, again we will be giving emphasis from the second from the end. The words like television. Okay. So controversy. So controversy is another example. It's contro is second part is correct. This one is correct, not controversy. Okay. So when do we have stress on the third word from the end? Any word which is ending with CY, TY, PHY, GY, it always we stress on the third word from the end. Okay, CY is considered actually one penultimate, uh, CR is second one, and MO is the third one. So it's not democracy. People say democracy. 90% people do not know the right pronunciation. It's not democracy. It's democracy. Okay, geology, photography, not photography. They split up the words. Dependability, or other thing, whenever the words end with AL. So the words like critical, geological, again we are emphasizing on the third word from the end.
democracy, dependability, photography, geology, critical, geological.
Okay, let's listen the next part, compound words. Words with two parts. Okay, for compound nouns, the stress is on the first part. The words like blackbird, greenhouse. This is a compound word. Black is actually making sense, bird is actually making sense. So when we are combining two compounds, that can actually make sense. The words like bad tempered, old fashioned, these are compound adjectives. When I'm talking about the quality of a person, the stress is on the second part. Okay, but when I'm talking about verbs, Again, the stress is on the second part, like understandable or overflow. Just listen the audios.
Blackbird, greenhouse, bad-tempered, old-fashioned, understand, overflow.
Now, the last and final important thing which I want to cover is about rising and falling intonations. Now, what is intonation? It is actually the way you have to speak. Okay. The upward arrows I have used for the rising intonation when you have to increase the pace as well as the tone. The downward arrow I have used for the falling intonation. Okay, I have taken one read aloud as an example. This kind of screen will appear in your exam, and the dark words which I have used, these are the important words where we have to stress, important nouns or any adjectives. So you have 40 seconds to prepare. You must speak in those 40 seconds loudly and clearly so that you should know where you are getting stuck. Try to recall the pronunciation of that word. Okay, try to maintain the fluency. Number one thing, take a deep breath before you start your read aloud. Very, very important. Okay, just doing randomly is not going to help you because it's a very long read aloud. It's, you can say more than 7 lines. In exam, maybe you not get this much lengthy, but you might get about 4 to 5 lines. You have to be speedy. So they will give you 40 seconds to practice as well as to prepare as well as to record, but you should not use those 40 seconds. Try to finish the read aloud in 16 to 24 seconds. That is the ideal time. If you are taking more than 16 seconds, that is okay, but if you are taking more than 24 seconds, that is not okay, because unless and until it is very lengthy sentence, you can take 24 seconds. If you're taking 30 seconds or 26 seconds, it is going to reduce your scores in your fluency. And if you're speaking less than 16 seconds, that means you're very fast like a robot. Computer will not understand you at all. You might say word, but computer will understand word, WORD. So it has two different meanings, two different sounds. Okay, so let's practice this read aloud now. I'm going to tell you how you and where you have to stress, how you have to use the rising and falling intonation. What can be learned from the way young people play and learn? Evidently, children are active, curious, and eager to engage with the environment, and when they do, meaningful learning occurs. The motivation to learn in this circumstance is not external but rather acquired intrinsically through involvement in engaging behavior that is personally rewarding. Throughout the life, when adults are in their healthiest states, they are active and interested, and the intrinsically motivated behaviors that result help them acquire knowledge about themselves and their life world. So this was a very lengthy passage. As you notice, you can utilize your 40 seconds and loudly preparation time, and then you can speak, right? Remember to give emphasis and stress on the important keywords. The last and final thing for today, that I'm going to wind up everything now. So the first read aloud I have taken as an example where I have given use the slashes to tell you where you have to pause. Okay, because often students get stuck and they try to speak the entire sentence in one go. You are a human being, you are not a robot. So don't try to too fast, otherwise what will happen, your voice will not come clearly from the mouth and it will record something else. The second example I have used, where I have used both strategies, where to stress the words and where to use a rising and falling intonation. Let's do the first read aloud first. Ready? So take a deep breath before you start. You can practice this read aloud at your end. Let me know, write down the comment section what are the areas where you are lacking behind. Next time we'll plan and we'll announce publicly where you need more attention, okay? Let us know, write in the comment section where you need more attention. We'll definitely guide you. So let's do this read aloud now. Ready? Take a deep breath. Hold your breath in your chest, don't release it. Slowly and gradually release your breath at your first pre-decided pause. So you will be pausing mainly at full stops and commas. Okay, unless and until the sentence is very, very long, you can pause after 6 to 8 words. But don't pause after every 3 or 4 words. Photography's gaze widened during the early years of the 20th century, and as the snapshot camera became increasingly popular, the making of photographs became increasingly available to a wide cross section of the public. The British people grew accustomed to and were hungry for the photographic image. So this is how you have to check the timings when you're practicing your read alouds. Check the timer on the question, how much time you're taking. Okay, if you are taking more than 24 seconds, that means your speed is not okay. Let's do the next read aloud. Now you can see the underlined words which we have to stress on. Okay, and the downward and upward arrow indicates your rising and falling intonation. The development of easy to use statistical software has changed the way statistics is being taught and learned. Students can make transformations of variables, create graphs of distributions of variables, and select among statistical analysis all at the click of a button. However, even with these advancements, students sometimes find statistics to be an arduous task. So again, it was a lengthy passage, which is more than 4 lines, and you can see there are difficult words also. These are the real questions that we have gathered. So I know that you know a lot about pronunciation and speaking, but this is the task where we actually try to help you. You should know the basic things, and let us know right in the comment section where you guys need more attention. We are more than happy to help you, right? And let us know. We'll definitely announce you in the upcoming videos when we will be going live. Thank you for joining today. See you next time.